Ladies and gentlemen, 45 and soon to be 47 is going on the Joe Rogan podcast tomorrow, October 25th, Friday. Get your popcorn ready. It is going to be one for the ages. You do not want to miss it. Get ready. It is going to be fire nonstop. And it's going to be a show that's going to be dissected for years to come. This is going to be huge. I think a lot of people out there understand that this is a ginormous situation that we are going to experience. Bigger than the election itself. Joe Rogan and Trump in the same room, actually sitting down together, having 3 hours to talk, to just sit back, chill. These are going to be two badasses sitting in a room just discussing matters that are going to be astronomical proportions for our lives and the entire world's lives. Get ready. This is going to be amazing. It's actually happening. I cannot believe it.
10, 9, 8, 7.
Welcome to the Brandon Fogal Show. Every moment is an electrifying event. This is not just a podcast, it's a revolution of thought, unfiltered, real and raw. The Brandon Fogal Show, where excellence meets evolution.
2, 1. This is the Brandon Fogal Show.
If you had a chance to sit down with Trump for 3 hours, what would you ask him? The alleged quote of President Trump is, "I need the kind of generals that Hitler had." I mean, from the beginning, they kept saying Trump is Hitler. He's a dictator, he's going to be a dictator. And it keeps ramping up more and more and more. I mean, just the other day, Joe Biden said, we got to lock him up. We got to lock him up. And the crowd cheered. The crowd went wild. We're talking about Donald Trump going on the King of Pop, Joe Rogan, tomorrow, October 25th. There's still some hesitation by Kamala Harris because I hear she's not going on there, but then it's like, it's still undecided. I think she is watching her words so tightly that she's not coming off as an authentic person because she's so careful she doesn't want to say the wrong thing. She says it slow and it doesn't seem genuine. And I think that's the main thing. And people just want to see, what do you really believe, Kamala? Where do you stand on this issue? What are you going to do if you have the nuclear codes at your fingertips? What are you going to do? What are you going to do with our lives? What decisions are you going to make that's going to impact how we live and our family's future? What are you going to do, Kamala? And I think she doesn't really give a straightforward answer. And we are not going to know until she is seated in the Oval Office. And I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think she's going to be the one seated in the Oval Office. But man, I mean, it's election night is going to be insane. It's not going to be decided over that night. It's not going to be decided by the next day. It's not. I know it won't. It's going to be something that's going to drag out for probably at least a few days, maybe a week, and then someone's going to be crowned. And then and this is what I said when I tweeted back at that Joe Rogan headquarters that said, do you think that Joe should bring up to President Trump about the Hitler comment that Kamala Harris went out and propagated, that Trump said this? The Dems gotta know that this is setting us up for civil war. Putting something like this out there. Her saying this, because it wasn't just on a podcast. It wasn't just, off the cuff, answering a question. She made us like an official, formal press briefing with the American flags behind her, standing at the podium and reading off this, and I couldn't even believe it. It seems like a deep fake. It seems like, is this actually happening? Is this actually happening that the could be possible potential future president of the United States, and the one that might falter and not end up there is saying this, that it's going to spark something. It's going to give people justification. It's going to give people a reason to do something crazy. I mean, if you're saying this about the could be president of the United States, President Trump, comparing him to Hitler, because I mean, if you were a person, you had a time machine and you could go back in time and you could pop Hitler before he rose to power, would you do it? And it seems like the Democrats are putting it out there, putting it in people's minds that they can do this, that this gives people support to go and pull something like this off. That's why we've seen within this same year 2 assassination attempts. So this just seems extremely nuts and insane that this type of stuff is happening, that she is out there putting that out there. I mean, she's not even just letting her surrogates talk about this and tell people about this and let it just happen. She's going to a formal press briefing and giving this to the American people as she is seated as the Vice President of the United States. And she's doing that. That seems, to me, that blew me away. And saying something like this and putting this out there, it is empowering people to go out there and do something crazy and nuts. Joe Rogan and the podcast with Trump coming on there, it's going to be good. I'm just going to devour it the whole time through. I'm going to try to watch it multiple times. But I do have to bring this up as well. This isn't in regards to Trump and Rogan, but I have to bring this up as well because it may not be news to everyone out there, but it's news to the people that matter. Tim Pool, his show, Timcast IRL, almost stopped and ceased to exist this week. I don't know if you all caught that. But it almost stopped. And it caused me to step back and reevaluate some things. Like, what is going on? Someone I highly admire, Tim Pool. I like Tim Pool and I like his whole setup. Everything that he's doing, I love it. And whenever I heard that, I was like blown away. Like, what is happening? It's when you see your world start crashing down, imploding within itself. And I was just seeing him talking about he can't sustain this anymore. He's going to have to stop the show. And it said that this may be the last podcast. It was more like almost just technical difficulties in sustaining his operation. It brings up a good point because it reminds me of any business that's out there in the United States. It's hard to have people bought in, doing everything they can to make your business shine as much as possible because it's not their business. There's the owner that has all the stake in it, has all the risk that they put in it. And then you have people that come along, even if they're your best friends, they're employees, and their heart and soul is not completely bought in because they haven't footed the bill and paid for everything that's happening. It's kind of weird because he's talking about like people that just get lazy. And I mean, it's obvious, like in any type of work environment, people get lazy because they're not completely sold on the company. And it goes with the company that you're with. A lot of times they'll drop you at the drop of a hat. So it's like, it's hard to sometimes buy in always. And I think that's even with his operation and his show that he has going on, he's obviously hired a lot of his friends and buddies. And when he sees other people not putting forth the effort and him having to kind of hold their hand in everything that they're doing, and if things just falling through unless he is watching it in every minute detail, he's like, I can't do this anymore. And he almost had to just close up shop. And whenever I heard that, and I think I don't know if he pulled a fast one on us. Tim Pool, did you pull a fast one on us? Were you? I don't think he was trying to pull a fast one at all. I don't think so at all. But to me, it was like seeing someone that's real, what they're going through, and just expressing what they think of in this industry, in a business itself. It doesn't matter if you have this smallest business on Main Street or you have a huge corporation. Businesses are businesses. They're run a little bit different, but at the end of the day, they're run by people for now. They're run by people, and people get fed up with the companies they work for because they're not completely bought in, and people get lazy. I think by nature, people get lazy. And if you don't have stake in the game, it's that whole Office Space movie, If I bust my butt and give it all I got, I don't see an extra dime, So it's like people lose that fight and that desire, that hunger, because it's not their company. It's not their business. It's the bigwigs. It's their business, and they're kind of just having you as a cog pushing a button and doing certain things. But at the end of the day, it's their business. If you don't have skin in the game and it's not your company, you get lazy, and people get lazy. And on his show, people were getting lazy, and he was about to cut it all out and say, I'm going back to my roots. He's saying Tim Pool is going back to his roots and doing his show that he handles by himself, Singularity, his morning show of just talking about the news, basically just talking about the news and going through the news of the day And I had honestly forgot that he even did that. Like, because I used to always watch his shows of him sitting down in front of a computer and kind of just going through the news and the news of the day. They were like in 30-minute segments. These are the most important news. Joe Rogan, President Trump, Kamala Harris, and then Tim Pool, because I absolutely love his show. Absolutely love it. But to me, it's fun. That's the fun stuff, This is going to be one for the ages. One for the ages. Trust me. Get ready for it. It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge, baby. So get your popcorn and let's go. Let's light it up. Joe Rogan, President Trump, and we'll see if Kamala Harris changes her tune and says, I'm going to go on there. We'll see about that. But either way, President Trump, he is going on there. It's going to be fire. So I hope you all have a wonderful day and get ready for the Joe Rogan experience. Let's go. Brace yourself. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon so you never miss an episode. Your support means the world to me, and it helps keep the content coming. Until next time, stay blessed and keep shining.